Hey, what's up? I'm God. This is Seven Mortal Sins. Welcome. So today I got another Lucifer guide for you guys. Except this time it is Gunslinger Lucy. Yeehaw! Alright, so this guide video is going to be very similar to my OG Lucifer guide. Because they're both DPS, they kind of fill the same niche, the same role on your team. They just kind of smack things and then, things die. So, if you haven't seen the OG Lucifer guide, go check that out. There's going to be a lot of similarities between these two. You might pick up something there that I might not have covered here. So be sure to check that out. With that out of the way, Gunslinger Lucy is probably the best green DPS. She is basically a green nuke. She hits really, really hard. So let's jump into her kit, see exactly what she does. Alright, so Demon Lord Unchained. She's got Fallen Angel Arms, the Westland version. So when battle begins, she gains immunity to stun and confuse, which is very nice because her OG version does not have any sort of CC immunity. Gun of Longness. When battle begins, she gets a buff and debuffs two enemies, and this is going to be a speed buff and debuff here. And anytime she kills something, she gets a second move, which is super good. So let's see here. Also, she has some damage reduction. If she's under a certain HP threshold when taking damage, she gets all damage reduction, which essentially means that she's gonna hit. Like, she'll never get one shot, essentially, or I guess she could get one shot, but she'll never be two shot. Alright, so what Gun of Longness and Longness Mark do is she gets a speed buff and she debuffs enemy speed. So this is going to make her deceptively fast or deceptively slow, depending on how you want to look at it. So you look at my Lucy's speed, I got about 1600 speed. Plus 400, that puts her in the 2k mark, and Longness Mark debuffs the two fastest enemies, so that creates a speed differential of about 600. So my Lucy is technically actually right in the 2200 speed mark, which is quite a bit considering her build, which we'll get into a little bit. So that's all for her passive skills. Her ult, big numbers here, big damage. Damage in numbers is numbage, by the way, if you didn't know. Alright, so 500% at level 1, that's big. It even goes higher, plus 15. By the way, I just want to say this real quick before I move on. This character is good enough at plus 1. She is going to demolish even at plus 1. Obviously, she's going to get even better at plus 15. But you can see right here I have over 6,000 attack already, without really any soul mirrors. Like, I have level 0 green ones, right? Like, this is what I'm working with here. Like, so she has room to grow. But going back to her special move, before the action, she removes all damage reduction. So if you're up against a damage reduction tank like Michael or a Thyla, she just wipes that away and nukes them anyway. So if she's not affected by fatigue, she hits again. If she doesn't have any debuffs after that, she hits again. So she can potentially smack one target for 5, 8, what's that, 11,000%? And if that doesn't kill them, I don't know what will. It's wild. Alright, so that's her ult. She does big damage, and then big damage again, and then big damage again. Her power attack does damage 4 times, and there's a 70% chance for each hit. So 70% chance 4 times to inflict injured, which injured is defense -5, stacks up to 5 times. So that's a potential for 4 stacks. That could be like -20% defense just from hitting her skill 2. And if the target is affected by the debuff in her passive, the Longness Mark, while they take damage, it also inflicts Confuse, and she buffs her own move gauge again. So, like I said, she is deceptively fast/slow. Like, she has a bunch of speed buffs, she has a bunch of move gauge buffs. So you really don't need to be investing a ton into her speed. But we'll get into that some more in a little bit. And after the action, it inflicts Special Move Seal, which is your ult. Inflicts it on the enemy with the highest attack. Alright, so her basic attack deals damage and inflicts Defense Break. So we have Injured, which debuffs defense, and then Defense Break, which debuffs defense. By the way, these debuffs can exist at the same time. So she is absolutely just going to shred enemy defense. So this 500%, this 64% times 4, this 230% is actually going to be hitting significantly harder because she is going to be shredding enemy defense. And she also removes Iron Wrist, which is an attack buff. If any enemies are affected by Special Move Seal, which she inflicts with her skill 2, then she gets a follow-up attack on that target. So she's going to be constantly just pursuing and follow-up attacking and multi-hitting and nuking. She does so much damage so fast, she can be very hard to deal with. And she also inflicts stun. So she stuns on her skill 1, confuses on her skill 2, so she's got CC and some CC immunity, and big numbers, multi-hits. Like, she's like the whole DPS package right here. Yeah, and that just kind of explains the debuffs that she can do. Okay, so let's jump into her build. I mentioned this a couple of times. You don't really need to invest a whole ton into speed for her. You really want to be focusing on getting as much attack as possible, and I'm going to explain the maximum damage formula in this video again because it is very important. So this 500% is going to be very easy for her to achieve. She's going to be capping her damage very, very easily. So you really want to push the attack to increase your damage cap. And your damage cap is calculated as 10 times your current attack. So she really wants to be paired with attack buffers. She wants as much attack as she can get. And she also likes being paired with speed buffers so that she can just even more, even faster, even harder. Alright, so as for Star Shards, I have her geared the exact same way as I do my OG Lucifer. I've got her on 4-piece Chaos, 2-piece Hawkeye, just so I can get her crit rate to a reasonable level. So 45% is pretty good for hitting blues. That's, you know, almost guaranteed. Over 200 crit damage, that's kind of what I look for as well in my builds. And then for slot 2, I have speed, so she can hit at least 1600 speed. That's kind of the benchmark for me in my teams. And then for slots 4 and 6, I have attack percent. And that's really what she's going to want. She's just going to want your 4 and 6 to be attack percent. She's going to want chaos. If possible, she's going to want attack mirrors if you can get those. And that's pretty much it for her build. Just max out her attack. Now for teammates, she is pretty much just as easy as OG Lucifer to build a team around. You know, you just want someone to boost attack, someone to boost speed, someone to boost crit rate, crit damage, CC block, all that kind of stuff. So Belial is pretty good for the crit damage boosting. Metatron is good for blocking CC because Gunslinger Lucy has really high attack. She'll probably benefit from Metatron's CC blocking. And also the heal and the revive is pretty nice as well. For speed supports, there's the classic Leviathan and Sariel speed supports. Sariel also has a revive and some move gauge boosting. You can use Furka for speed boosting. Let's see. I mean, technically Nikita could work as an attack buffer and a crit rate buffer, but Gunslinger Lucy's not going to benefit from her passive at all because she's not red. And the number one, oh yes, also Raphael, very nice support for Gunslinger Lucy, very good. And Summer Leviathan, very good for her as well for that attack buff. If you have Christmas Lucifer, she increases tech type allies attack for the whole battle. Very strong pairing, Christmas Lucifer with Gunslinger Lucifer. Very good combo right there. But the number one support for Gunslinger Lucy, and in my opinion all greens, is Maman. Maman's got an attack boost on her skill 2. She's got a defense boost somewhere in her kit, and her consonant skill provides all your green allies a speed and defense boost, which is very good. She, in my opinion, is basically unreplaceable in green focused teams. Or very hard to replace, I should say. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to include Maman if they don't like Maman. But she is definitely a very good support for Gunslinger Lucy. And like, I think that's about it. You know, just remember, build as much attack, find allies that can support attack and speed, maybe heal, block CC, all that good stuff, and you'll have yourself a very solid, very threatening Gunslinger Lucy team. And I think that's all I wanted to cover. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think about Gunslinger Lucy. Did I miss anything? Is there anything you want to add? And come hang out on the Discord. Link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.